Hello, welcome to the second lesson, the second live of lesson number 2 of the Wake Up Your Eyes free masterclass. Be very, very welcome. And today we're going to go deeper in the topic of the lesson number 2. You're going to learn, or you're going to review again the 3 exercises that we taught you in the video around sunning. But I'm also going to show you special tools that you can use to take care of your eyes and improve your vision, and that are a very good way to replace sunglasses in many cases, not all of them, but in many cases. And that can also be a good transition tool, and also in many cases a replacement, an alternative to glasses. Also, I'm going to show you the instant focusing technique, and we're going to go deeper into the topics of the lesson number 2. We also have been gathering very recurring questions around the topics of lesson number 2. So I will take the time to answer many of those questions. And so if you are watching this, I had prepared this and now it's not visible. Okay, if you're watching this, you may want to make sure that you are registered to the full Wake Up Your Eyes free masterclass, because this lesson is a part of 4 lessons that we are actually sharing. Let me put it like this, you can see it better, that we're actually sharing along the month of April. We started on the 19th, and we're going to be releasing different lessons by video and by lives between now and April the 30th. So if you haven't been participating, I would like to encourage you to sign up so that you can enjoy the full scope. And so if you're new to this live, make sure that that you can see the rest. And today we're doing the live at an unusual time. So I know that a lot of people are going to watch it, watch the recording. The rest of the lives are going to take place at a different time from today. So let me show you. Usually it's 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. London, or 7 p.m. Amsterdam, etc. And the videos we do send to your email. That's why we want you to register. Where can you see the recordings of the live, of the live, because the videos we send them to your email? Well, make sure that you are signed up, or that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ClearSight Method, and that you follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/ClearSight Method. Okay, and today I have with me, let me remove a little bit these things around so we can see their faces. Today I have with me, there you go, Daniel from Colombia and Natalia from Argentina, who are supporting. Also, Therese is in the back someplace. You don't see her, but she's also helping. And maybe at some point in time, they'll also dive in and participate and explain some of the topics that we're going to talk about today. In the meantime, they're answering questions in the chat, in YouTube, Facebook. So if you have some questions here, know that they're both vision educators. They're certified. They have at least 2 certifications on vision education. Natalia actually has 3. So they're very well trained. And Daniel is doing a PhD on lifestyle medicine, and he's focusing on natural vision improvement. So you are in a very good team. I'm not going to introduce myself again, because I already took a lot of time to do that in the live number 1 and the video number 1. But just so you know, I'm Dr. Ainhoa de Federico. I am professor and researcher at the University of Toulouse, and I have been helping an increasing number of people over time to improve their eyesight and vision naturally. It's been over 20 years now. I teach at the university in the Masters of Health Education in the Free University of Toulouse. And I've recently signed a contract with a Mexican university to create the first diploma worldwide for vision educators at a university level, a certification. And I have got recently several prizes for the work that we do, spreading natural vision improvement around the world. This free masterclass has been watched by nearly 4 million people in 200 countries, because all the team of Volver a Ver Claro and I include my colleagues again, we are in this because we want for people to learn how to take care of their eyes and improve their vision. Like after Second World War, we collectively learn how to brush our teeth, to have good teeth for life. So now we are teaching you this so that you can have good eyesight for life. And then, of course, if you want to go more in depth into the process, I think it is from the, let me see, from the 28th onwards of April, we, even before we finish the free masterclass, we will open for you the possibility to join a more in-depth coaching program where the whole team of Volver a Ver Claro of the ClearSight Method will be supporting you to achieve your eyesight improvement if the free masterclass wasn't enough. We know that hundreds, thousands, millions of people maybe improve their vision just with the free masterclass, and we're very happy about it. That's why we do it, because we want for people to have those results. But if you need more from us, you'll have the opportunity to get it. And I haven't asked you yet where you are from. Where are you watching from? Let me have a look at the chat. Okay, there's Ching Ching from Ohio. Okay, there's Madawa from Sri Lanka. Okay, and maybe we have a bit less people than other times because this is an unusual time for our live. But anyway, we're very happy that you are here, and the other people will undoubtedly watch the recording. Okay, also, I would like to ask you, since you've been practicing palming and sunning, if you've been watching the first videos and the first live, I would like to know, what have you noticed already in your eyes, and what have you noticed, like sensations changing in your eyes, and what have you noticed in your eyesight, in your vision? How has it improved? What has changed? Maybe you notice light better, or colors better, or textures, or maybe you can read smaller print, or maybe you notice the three dimensions of objects better, or movement, or perspective. There's so many dimensions of your experience of seeing. I wonder, what have you noticed that has happened with these few days of practice? So I'd like to invite you to write it in the chat. And also, because we're sharing all these tools and these ideas, and today I'm going to share some scientific references also. But the most important thing, besides what my experience is, what science says about it, even what my other colleagues say about it, and also what the 200 plus testimonials that we have in English. In Spanish, we have close to 600. The most important part is the difference that it makes for you. The most important is that you see it with your own eyes, that you actually have the experience for yourself. That's why I'm inviting over several days to practice with the tools and see the experience as we're advancing with the lessons. So I would like to see what's happening for you. Okay. Oh, there's also Val from Hawaii, and Mark from Pennsylvania, and Julia. It's so nice that you're here from the Virgin Islands, and of course the others that we mentioned before from Sri Lanka and Ohio. Okay, etc. So what is changing in your eyesight? So Ching Ching says, I remember to blink more and relax with palming. Very, very good. I think I feel most is important is relaxation and not tensing your eyes. Absolutely, you got it. The key number one for natural vision improvement, the most important principle, and the principle on which the others can rely on, is relaxation. So that's why we taught you palming on the first day, because that's the first star technique of natural vision improvement. And today we're going to talk about the second star technique of natural vision improvement, which is also very relaxing, but has other properties as well. Let's see. Okay, very good. Yes. So, what are we going to do today? So, in video number 1, we taught you the secret of how and why you can improve your eyesight naturally. We talked a little bit about the anatomy of the eye and how there's several sets of muscles that participate in your focusing, in your capacity of focusing, and the importance of relaxing them and also moving them, training them so that you can focus better. Mhm. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, register on the link that I gave you, and then you can go back and make sure that you watch that video because it's an important foundation. And then in the live number 1, I gave you at least 15 tips and tricks and exercises and advice of things that you can do to take care of your eyes and improve your eyesight naturally. And then in video number 2, we talked about limiting beliefs that people have about eyesight and vision. And a lot of them are false or incomplete. They're not fully correct. And today we're going to dive in deeper into those. And the important part about them is that when you have limiting beliefs, I mean, when you have beliefs that are actually incorrect, you're limiting yourself and it's not necessary. So we're going to see how they're limiting you and how they're incorrect or incomplete or false so that you can find new areas of opportunity for yourself to improve your eyesight and vision. Okay, we're also going to talk about a new tool that you can use to improve your eyesight and take care of your eyes. And we're going to teach you a few exercises. We're going to review sunning and variations around sunning. And we're also going to teach you the instant focusing technique and answer questions that we've been getting. Daniel, Natalia, if you notice that I'm forgetting something, you can also let me know. Okay. So let's start with the limiting beliefs. So a lot of people believe that eyesight problems, vision problems, are genetic. And if you have bad genes, there's nothing you can do about it. And that after a certain age, everybody has bad eyesight. And there's nothing you can do to transform that. It's just determined. And that once that your eyesight has become bad, there's nothing you can do to improve it. A lot of people have these beliefs, and they're actually incorrect. Let's start with genetics. It is true that genetics can yield some tendencies for this or that, but there's several points here. First, epigenetics in the last couple decades has been showing how genes actually are like a panel of switches, and they are turned off or on depending on other things that you actually have control over. The tendency can be there, but it won't become active unless you do or don't do certain things. And what are the things that can impact the activation or not of your genes? Well, things like how you sleep, do you exercise, how do you eat, do you live in a healthy environment, or is it full of toxicity? Do you have harmonious relationships, or are they toxic relationships? Do you feel that you have purpose in life, or are you stressed or bored? Anyway, all of these things are part of what we could call our lifestyle. And depending on the lifestyle that we have, our genes are going to be activated in different ways. And I'm going to show Daniel for a second because he's doing his PhD on these kind of things, actually, right? So maybe he'll talk about this for a moment. Yes, now you're nodding. Okay, so this is very important to know. Genes do not necessarily mean that you are determined. There's a tendency, but what do you do about it? Now, if we get more specific about eyesight and vision, so a lot of people believe that, vision problems are genetic. And so we saw that even if they were genetic, it's not true that you cannot do anything about it. But let's observe some things that have been happening in a few generations. For example, number one, and I'm going to call here for studies in anthropology. There is studies, actually, scientific research on eyesight and vision not only, of course, in ophthalmology and optometry, but also in epigenetics, neuroscience, and neurophysiology, in the study of posture, in nutrition, in the study of light, and also in human and social sciences like psychology, anthropology, history, or sociology. And all these disciplines inform us about how eyesight and vision works. And so now I'm calling anthropology because it is known, for example, for those who believe that after 40 you are doomed to have bad vision. There are whole societies, whole ethnic groups, such as the Vilacabamba in Ecuador, or the Hansa in the Himalayas, or the Moken, the people of the sea, who do not develop eyesight issues after their 40s or their 50s. And they actually grow old and have very good eyesight. The Vilacabamba and Hansa particularly are known for having a very long life, reaching very easily 90 years old, 100 years old, and they have very good eyesight. So it is not true that it is compulsory that with age you have to have bad eyesight, that it's genetically determined, biologically determined. Now, also, for example, in our own societies, symptoms like presbyopia, up to 20 years ago, the standard was that people would get them after their 50s. That's what was considered normal, statistically frequent. Nowadays, what's quote, quote, normal, which only means statistically frequent, is that people have bad eyesight after their 40s. So in our own population, we have lost 10 years of quality of eyesight because of how our lifestyle have changed in the last 20 years. More examples. So this means that if you have good lifestyle, good habits, you can keep having a good eyesight for life. More examples of this. For example, the Eskimos, the Inuit in Alaska, were studied at the time. This is a study from the 70s. And at that time, there were whole generations that were in transition. We're going to call them the grandparents, the parents, and the children. The grandparents had the traditional Eskimo lifestyle, and they didn't have presbyopia. They didn't need reading glasses. They didn't have myopia. They didn't have vision problems. The parents started working, started having a more mixed lifestyle. Maybe they would live in the traditional way, but they would work in the city, or vice versa. They would live in the city and work in the nature. So they started having more myopia and vision problems. And the kids, the children who were fully scholarized, they went to school like all the other American children, they started having the same percentages of myopia and vision problems as the standard in the rest of the kids in America. So this had nothing to do with genetics, because we're talking about a population that had the same genes. It had to do with the changing conditions and the changing lifestyle. Now, in Asia, for example, in one generation, in 20 years, myopia, being nearsighted, has gone from 50% of the population, which is already huge, into 90% in a lot of the societies and cities in Asia, which is crazy. Like, everybody's becoming nearsighted in Asia. So this is also, again, not genes, because genes would have changed 2% up or 2% down. What has happened is that there has been a transformation in lifestyle. And again, if we reflect on our own societies, we can see what happened with COVID and the lockdowns. The World Health Organization had released a report at the end of 2019, so mere months before COVID started and all the lockdowns started. And at that time, the World Health Organization said that 1/3 of the world population had already vision problems, that 80% of them were preventable, but that nevertheless it was expected that by the year 2050, half of the world population would have vision problems. After COVID, the lockdowns, and all the stressors that it brought about health, about our beloved ones, about the economy and our jobs. Also, we spend time indoors by definition with less sun, moving less, etc., and with all the stress, well, guess what? During the period of the lockdown, vision problems increased so much that now the projection of what's going to happen is that by 2030, half of the world population will have vision problems. So the changes in lifestyle have accelerated vision issues. So this is also telling us that if we can master our lifestyle, our habits, what we do, we can keep having good eyesight. You do not have to be a victim of these tendencies if you know how to take care of your eyes and how to improve your eyesight. Okay, and so we're going to talk some more about how you can do that. Now, we've talked about limiting beliefs about age, about genetics, and yeah, basically those were the two. So this is not determined. It really depends on what you're doing with your life. If you have very bad habits, like you never move and you eat very poorly, again, and you live in toxic environments with toxic relationships, well, your health is going to be very poor after 40. Well, you need also to take care of your eyes in the same way as you're taking care of other parts of your body and your overall health. Okay, so another limiting belief that a lot of people have is that the sun is bad for your health, or that the sun is bad for your eyesight. And this is the one we're going to dive into more in detail today. Okay, and I'm happy that there's more and more people joining. That's nice. Let me see. Yes. So we're going to talk about the sun, because there's plenty of people that think that the sun is bad for you, bad for your eyesight, and you should wear sunglasses all the time, and that blue light is bad for you, and that UVs are bad for you. And actually, there is a yes and no to all of this. We have to be a lot more detailed. It's not black or white, really not. We really need to understand when sunlight is dangerous, and when, and this may be surprising for you, sunlight is actually allowing you to recover your health, your general health, and also your health for your eyesight and vision. And you don't need to believe me just because I'm the one who's talking here. I'm going to share with you a number of scientific research here, papers published in scientific journals. For example, this is a reference from 2016, The Risks and Benefits of Sun Exposure. Very interesting and complete article. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas here, but we also have this other characterization of vitamin D production by human ocular barrier cells. So there's been studies and research since 2012 on the relationship between the eyes and vitamin D, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. Another reference here, for example, enhancement of vitamin D metabolites in the eye following vitamin D supplementation and UVB irradiation, and you have the link where you can have a look at this with your own eyes here. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the sun and sunlight, and when it's good and when it's not good, when it's dangerous, and when it's actually very healthy for you. And again, none of it is black or white. You really need to know the nuances. So when is the sun dangerous for your eyesight? When there's a sun eclipse, a solar eclipse, you should never, ever look at the sun directly with your open eyes. That could literally burn your retina and you could go blind. So that's very dangerous and you shouldn't do it. Ever. If you want to watch the solar eclipse, I suggest that you watch it on YouTube or on the television, or at most you could put a bucket of water and you can watch the reflection on the water. But do not use X-rays to filter it, that's not enough. Sunglasses are not enough. You should not look at a solar eclipse with your eyes open, even with filters. So that's dangerous. Now, in the middle of the day, you should not look at the sun with your open eyes either. That could also actually, when you do that, it hurts and it's unpleasant. So don't do it. But there are times when sunlight is actually very, very good. So there's been research at the London College in the last 2-3 years in particular. Since 2020, there's been a number of publications on the topic explaining how red light is actually allows your retina to become healthier. And when your eyes are exposed to red light, so the mitochondria in the cells of the retina produce more energy, and so the retina can function better and is actually in a better position to resist the more challenging kinds of light, like blue or violet light. So in terms of red light and sunlight, it is very good for your eyesight to watch the sunrise and the sunset. Plus, it's very pleasant to do it. It's actually a very nice thing to do with a beloved person. Yeah. Now, at the sunrise and the sunset, you can, of course, enjoy the beautiful colors, the reddish colors that you will see in the atmosphere. And at the sunrise and the sunset, it's actually the only moment where it's safe, and not only safe, but healthy for your eyes to look directly at the sun. But I need to give you more specific information about this. So first, I advise that you get this app that's called Sun Surveyor. I have it in my little phone. Let me find it. Don't tell me that I don't have it now. Of course I do. Here. So Sun Surveyor. Okay, there's some things. Yeah, so this app looks like this one. Yeah. When you open it, it's going to show several screens. And I like this information. If you see, well, probably it's in Spanish, but what it gives you, regardless of where you live, and you can put it in the language that you prefer, is wherever it is that you live, when is the sunrise, when is the golden hour, when is the golden hour in the afternoon, and when is the sunset. It gives more information than that, but the sunrise and the sunset, the specific sunrise and sunset where you live, and the golden hour are very important, because that's when there is the most red light released by the sun, and all the other frequencies of sunlight are actually filtered by the atmosphere. So that's the moment when you can look at the sun safely. Now, another detail that's very important, you can look at the sun at the sunrise and at the sunset at the level of the sea when the solar disk is still touching the horizon of the sea. If the solar disk is not touching the horizon anymore, well, I know that there's some people who practice sun gazing and they have a very specific detailed training to do that and to keep looking at the sun longer, but this is not what we're talking about. So if you're not doing those very specific trainings, when the sunrise and sunset is touching the horizon at the level of the sea, on the sea, then it's safe because there is the most filtering of the atmosphere. If the sun is higher than that, then it's at your own risk. So if you're seeing the sun rise behind the mountain or set behind the mountain, probably the sun is too high. So don't do it. Look at it when you're at the sea. And if you live by the sea, you have an advantage. If you don't, well, maybe this is the kind of thing that you can do when you're on holidays. But you can always look at the beautiful red color that's in the atmosphere, and that's going to be beneficial for you too. Now, so red light is good for your eyesight. Of course, in the researchers that did in the University College of London that did research about it are also talking about lamps that you could buy. And sure, you could also buy lamps if you want, but the sun is for free and it's always available. So if you can do it with the sun, it will be cheaper and it will be very, very good for your health. And if you don't have alternatives, of course, you could look into the lamps. Now, some people are very afraid about blue light or UV light. and ultraviolet light. And we need to talk about those two, because the problem with blue light is not bad per se. Actually, there's also research carried in Australia and Japan, where they now make that the kids in school go play outdoors in the middle of the day when there is the most blue light available, because research shows that if you deprive the human eye from blue light, blue natural light, that is in the middle of the day, midday light, then you have more chances to become nearsighted, to become myopic. And that's particularly true for kids. So it's important that they play outside in the middle of the day so that they get enough blue light. What's the problem with blue light? The problem with blue light is that nowadays we have LED lights everywhere, artificial LED lights. And on the one hand, they're amazing because they're cheaper to produce the light. So it's good for the economy and for the ecology, and that's great. But the bad side of blue LED lights is that our bodies are all the time exposed to only blue light in artificial environments. And that is not good for the eyes. The eyes need the different kinds of full spectrum of solar light at the different times of the day. And it's also not good for your health as a whole. It actually disrupts your sleep. It confuses your endocrinous system, so your hormones get out of balance. It confuses your nervous system, so you will lose the capacity to focus and to rest, because your body believes that it's the middle of the day all day long. If you're having the kind of light, something that's a ersatz of the kind of light that the sun has in the middle of the day, it tends to activate your system all the time. So it's better if at home or at work, you change the kind of LED lights that you have, and you make sure that you have LED lights that will change the color depending the moment of the day. They're a little bit more expensive than the standards that only have blue light, but it's really worth it for your own health. The lamp will cost a little bit more, the electricity won't rise much, but it's going to be much better for your health. And one of the sources of blue light that we have all the time nowadays, guess what it is? Phones. Okay, I have another tablets. And computer screens. I cannot show you mine because I'm talking in front of it, but you get the picture. So if you're using a lot of electronic devices, the screens are pouring blue LED light onto your eyes constantly. So you want to protect your eyes from that. Now, a lot of people are buying blue filter glasses, and I don't think that's a good idea. Because if you want to improve your eyesight and your eyes, you want to have your bare naked eyes so that your eyes get used to movement, to blinking, to looking at different distances, to seeing 3D, not having a glass in front of them. And also you want for your eyes the full spectrum of natural sunlight. So you don't want barriers in front of your eyes. You also don't want the peripheral view to be reduced. So it's better not to use those protective glasses, and you can still protect your eyes. How? Well, very easy. You can put a filter on the computer screen instead of putting it on your eyes. And there's many brands. You can look, of course, in Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, in different places online for filters. There's one brand that I particularly like. It's called Reticare, reticare.com. You'll find it. It's a Spanish brand, but I think they deliver all over the world, and their filters are very good quality. Now, you can use physical filters, and you can also, or you can also use virtual filters. And I love this one, f.lux. So the physical filter is going to cost, I don't know how much anymore, but you would have to order it. The virtual filter is a free filter. The one I like the most is f.lux, Lux. And this one you can install in your PC, on your Mac, whether you use Android or Apple phones and tablets, etc. You can download it. And what it's going to do is that it's going to change the color that you see on your screen to match the color that the sunlight outside would naturally have. And this is much better for your eyes, for your eyesight, much better for your nervous system, much better for your endocrinous system. So you're going to have better sleep, better focus, better resting, yeah, better health in general. Yeah, so these are important. And now some people may wonder, now what about UV light? What about ultraviolet light? Because we've been told that ultraviolet light was dangerous. Well, if you watch enough sunsets and sunrise, if your eyes are also exposed to red light, they will self-regulate and they will be able to handle the ultraviolet light that is around now that the ozone layer is also recovering in the atmosphere. So the UV light is not as dangerous as it was some time ago, especially if you look into red light. But also, there's been more and more discoveries about the importance of UV light for your health, and in particular, UVB, the ultraviolet light of the kind B. And guess what? That UV light tends to get filtered by any kind of glass. If you're driving in the car, the windshield is filtering that kind of UVB light. Your glasses are filtering the UVB light. And why is this light so important? And why you shouldn't be wearing glasses also? Because vitamin D is mostly synthesized in the body thanks to the UVB light that gets into your eyes. It's actually thanks to the eyes that most vitamin B is synthesized. It used to be believed that it was because of being outside and the sun touching the skin. And while there is some that also is synthesized through the skin, the most important part is through the eyes. And there is some logic to this because the eyes are the part of the body that are the most transparent and are the organs that are adapted for the relationship that we have with light. And neurogenesis shows this as well. Okay, so it's very important that you allow your eyes to be in contact with these UVB rays so that you get enough vitamin D. And vitamin D is crucial for a lot of processes in our health. Without vitamin D, we become depressed, but we also can have problems with bones and other. So very important that you allow your eyes to see. In a moment, I will invite Natalia to tell about her story because she also has some learning and something to tell about this. But before we go to her, no, let's go to her because I had another idea, but I kind of got mixed up and lost it. So, Natalia, tell us about your vision improvement journey and the story I was hinting concerning vitamin D, please.
Okay, of course. Hi, everybody. Well, I could say that I was born with glasses because when I was only 2 years old, I received my first pair of glasses. And I was told, my parents were told, that I needed to use them in a permanent way. So that was my whole life, I would say. From since I was 2 years old, I started wearing my glasses in a permanent way with many vision symptoms. I used to have hyperopia, astigmatism, strabismus. And I grew up, I continued to wear my glasses, and I started with dry eye, with the presbyopia when I was older. I needed to wear my sunglasses everywhere, I could say. And one day, when I was 42, this is 40 years later, I discovered Ainhoa and this free course you are attending today. I was fascinated of what I hear, and I decided to put everything into practice. I decided to go deeper and to take the advanced course, and I started to do everything that I know suggested. And I started to feel better. I didn't need my sunglasses anymore. My eyes were feeling better. I didn't need the drops anymore. And one day during that process, I had an appointment to renew my driving license. And when I went to the appointment, the eye doctor that was checking my vision in that moment told me, but why does it say that your driving license that you need glasses to drive if your vision is good enough to drive without nothing in your eyes? And then I was like shocked, surprised, happy. And then I went to my eye doctor, and he said me, yes, Natalia, but your graduation is too high for you. And he let sorry, I thought I
He,
know you would.
no, he reduced the diopters in the glasses. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And well, it was something that made me so happy because I discovered that I myself could do something for my eyes. And it was not that everything about my eye health depended on other person or on other means like glasses. I myself could do a lot for improving my eyesight. So the empowerment I feel was great. I decided to become a vision educator because I said we say I am in love with the natural vision because it really changed my life completely. Well,
Hmm.
I know I was talking about the vitamin D and the sun. You all are learning that the sun is really a friend of us, and we need the sun of course, in a response, in a way
Res-
to.
yeah, reasonable and responsible way, of course.
Thank you. Okay. I used to have my vitamin D levels very low, and I needed to take a supplement every month, every some time. And when I started to uh, practice sunning, to be outside, and all the things that we are recommended in this course,
Including using the glasses less. I believe you don't use them anymore, or very little, right?
the glasses and well the sunglasses I forgot about them
Yeah, we'll
directly.
we'll talk about them in a moment, but yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
When I went to the doctor again for the annual check, my
Lovely.
vitamin D levels were then perfect.
Mhm.
So it is all because I perfectly know that it is due to the sun exposure
Mhm.
and all the benefits I received from it.
Yeah, and may I reveal something, Natalia? Actually, thank you, because there wasn't someone else, but you and Valle were the first two people who insisted that I should create a certification to train vision educators, and now we're very happy to. Well, we're about to start with the third group. The second is about to finish, and you were in the first certification. But if I remember well, you joined the advanced program. Was it 5 years ago, something like that?
Yes, five
And
four.
4 or 5, okay. And do you see worse now or better? Because you were already after your 40s. So
Oh,
is your eyesight getting worse and worse, or is it getting better and better?
better and better. I
Okay.
can say that today I have the best vision I had in my life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um,
This is important to say because a lot of people believe that with time and with age, vision only gets worse. But if you are doing what your body needs, what your eyes need, you can see better and better. That's also my experience. I see much better now than 10 years ago, although 10 years ago I had good eyesight. Uh-huh. I've told you about my story. I've had 6 eye symptoms at different moments, but I've never worn glasses. And yeah, and you can do that too. You can also do that if you want, if that's your choice.
of course.
Okay, thank you very much. So maybe I invite you to stay a little bit with me. Again, if you want to enjoy the full course, make sure that you register for everything. But you were mentioning before that you stopped using sunglasses, and that's the next topic that I want to address. Because when we are wearing the normal glasses, they also filter part of the range of frequencies from the sun. So it's better to use them as little as possible, reasonably speaking, also with common sense, as we said last time. If you need them to drive for the moment, use them. Don't want you or anybody else in danger, of course. If you need them to do a dangerous job or with dangerous tools, use them. If you need them to do something that requires a lot of focus while you're getting better and better, use them. But the rest of the time, use them as little as possible. And that allows for your eyes to adapt to seeing on their own, but it also allows for the eyes to get all the full range of the sunlight exposure that they require. Now, sunglasses. Again, the idea here is not to demonize anything. Every tool has its place and its purpose and its moment and its benefits and its pros and cons. And so with sunglasses, um, if you're a pilot, you probably need them. We're not going to go there because that's like depends on that profession. You do need sunglasses if you're going to ski because the reflection of the snow, sorry, is really a lot. Um, you may want to use sunglasses when you're at the sea or at the beach or in the desert, because also there's a lot of reflection on the sun. Although we are going to give you an alternative for that. Mhm. And you may want to use sunglasses when you're driving against the sun when it's setting, and there's already the filter of the windshield that actually makes it even more uncomfortable to look to the sun that is setting. So at that moment, you will want to wear sunglasses for driving, yeah, to be more safe yourself and others around you. So they have a purpose. But other than those occasions, if you're wearing sunglasses all the time, you're depriving your eyes from the nutrition that they need from light. There are more and more studies about the benefits of light for the human body. And if you're not allowing your body to get all the full range of frequencies, it's as if you stopped eating certain vitamins or say certain minerals, or you didn't have enough protein, or you didn't have fiber. You're depriving your body from something it needs. So it's important that if you have become dependent to using sunglasses all the time, that you maybe progressively, because we want you to be comfortable and to be kind to yourself, but that you wear them less and less. And a very good way to stop having sensitivity to light is to practice sunning. We will talk about it in a moment. Now, I have seen people wearing sunglasses even in the subway, and that's completely illogical. I mean, you're underground, there is no light, barely any light, and it's all artificial. So it doesn't make sense with so little light to be using sunglasses. The other problem with the sunglasses, besides depriving your body from the full spectrum of light, is that your pupil tends to be open all the time. Tends to be dilated all the time, big, and then your iris becomes lazy. The iris is a muscle. It's the one that gives the color to the eye. Yeah, it's like a sphincter. It's a round muscle, and it's the one that's responsible to make the pupil small when there's a lot of light, a lot of sun, and wide when there isn't a lot of light. And so if you're wearing sunglasses all the time, your iris is becoming weaker and weaker until no longer it has the capacity to do the meiosis movement. And this movement is important because when there is a lot of light and your pupil is very small, that's when you can see the best. Because that's when your central vision, your foveal vision, is the most stimulated, the part that has the cones, the photosensitive cells that allow you to see colors and to see details. So you do not want your pupil to be dilated all the time and your iris to be lazy all the time. So if that has been your case and you've developed a photosensitiveness, and your eyes are uncomfortable with the sun or with the glare, then we have the remedy for that, and that is sunning. Would you like to explain it, Natalia? Would you feel comfortable to explain sunning in English? Yes, go for
Yeah,
it.
I'll try it, of course. Because I love sunny, so I'm going to try to explain it. It is very easy. You have to be relaxed first, and you need to point your nose to the sun.
With your
With,
eyes closed.
exactly, with your eyes closed.
Closed.
That's very, very important. Point, yeah, the sun with your nose with eyes closed. You don't need to close the eyes like that. You just close them in
Softly.
a
Yeah, with
soft.
no pressure, no tension, no strength. Just lightly closed, but closed. So that they
Exactly.
filter.
And then you start moving your face from one side to another, right, left. It can be up, down, in circles. You can move your face point um, with closed eyes, pointing the sun, and just be there and uh, appreciate the colors that you receive in your retina, because they are going to be all red colors, and it is like Noah said, the frequency we need for our eyes. So stay with eyes closed, that's very important. Moving your face from one side to another, receiving all the light, and that is a fantastic exercise for your eyes. Try it.
Yes. The thing is that once your eyes are closed, your eyelids are already filtering the kind of frequencies that you don't want in your eyes when the sun is high. So you have a natural protection with your eyelids. Now, when you're doing sunning, as you're moving the head, so different parts of the retina are going into shadow or into the sun. So then your iris has the opportunity to do a little bit of gymnastics very gently. But also, as you're moving your face in different angles, different parts of the retina are stimulated because the retina is big. I don't have, because I was traveling today, I don't have my model of the eye, but you do, Natalia. So maybe you can show all the surface of the retina. You need to move it higher. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all the orange part. You can remove all the other pieces of the eye.
Yes. That's the iris.
Yeah. So all the orange part needs to be stimulated. Not just the central part, which is a little portion that's just in
Exactly.
front of the pupil. Absolutely. That's why you want to be moving in different ways. So all the retina is stimulated by light. And also the sun, the warmth of sunlight will relax your face and will relax the muscles of your eyes, and you will feel better. It's very pleasant to do it. So we encourage you to do it. So we talked about sunglasses and the inconveniences of sunglasses, but also the moments where they're useful. And we said that actually, when you go to the beach and when you go to the sea and when you go to the sun, there is an alternative that you can use instead of sunglasses. You will still want to use sunglasses if you're driving. And you will still want to use sunglasses if you're skiing. The alternative we're going to show doesn't work in those occasions, and you'll see why. But before we show you this tool that you'll want to discover, first I want to teach you another. We haven't taught we want to teach you more exercises and more practices. Exactly, for sunning first. Besides the standard sunning that Natalia just showed, there is also two more exercises that you can do with the sun. Will you show the inner kaleidoscope, Natalia, how to do it?
Okay. Yes. It's like sunning, closed eyes, the nose pointing to the sun, and we start moving our hands in front of our eyes, and so we start to perceive a lot of shadow and light in our eyes, and it will create like many light colors inside our retina that are stimulating our eyes enormously. So
Mhm.
eyes in the middle of the sun and our eyes, we move our hands faster, slower, in a different ways, and we let the shadows and light do their job, and
Mhm.
it will create like
An inner kaleidoscope. That's
an
why I
inner
call it like
light.
that
Yes.
because there's different colors and different shapes. Now, for this one, it's important to keep your eyes closed. And you're moving your fingers near your face. Your fingers are separated. You can move it at different speeds, like Natalia said, in different ways. And that's how you will see that inner kaleidoscope. If you try at home with artificial light, you will barely notice anything. You won't notice much because that light is not strong enough. But in the sunshine, it is amazing. You see beautiful colors and beautiful shapes. It's very entertaining, and it's extremely good for stimulating your iris and pupils and your retina. And the third way of the third exercise that we can do with sunning, you have the small print at hand.
Yes.
Again, because I'm traveling, I don't, so I let you explain it.
Yes, this is a page that you can download also, and it has just letters in different size. You can use this letter, this paper, or another one. It doesn't matter. But what we are going to do is to, again, our nose pointing to the sun. We put the paper in the middle of our head and the sun, like this, and now with our eyes opened, because there is a paper in the middle, we can start moving the paper. And again, as the paper has black and white, it will create contrast, and our retina will receive shadows and light. And this will create another effect on our retina that will be stimulating it. So this time, because there is a paper in the middle of our eyes and the sun, we can do it with our eyes open because there is a paper in the middle. And we can move the paper in a different way, and we will notice this contrast again that is so beneficial for us.
So I'm seeing a few more questions. Thank you so much, Natalia. So here's some exercises that you can do with the sun. And there's a couple of comments and questions that are interesting to address right now. So there's Karen asking, how often should we do sunning and for how many minutes? And this is a very good question. You maybe noticed that I was drinking some water with a few herbs. And why do I show it? Because once you know that water is good for your body, how often should you drink water and for how long? For how many weeks or months? Or once that you know that brushing your teeth is good for your health, for how many weeks are you going to do it? Or for how many weeks are you going to wash your hair or put cream on your face or things like that? Actually, once you discover these habits, you'll want to keep them for life, even if it's just a few minutes every day, but they're very, very helpful. And actually, when you start doing that, you'll notice that once you've got used to drinking water, if you forget to do it, your body is going to ask you for water. Once you forget, or for some reason you cannot brush your teeth because you've been traveling and it was in the suitcase or whatever, you notice in your mouth that your body wants your teeth brushed. Or if you forget to put cream on your face, your skin is going to demand it. Well, once you start doing sunning, your eyes are going to ask you for it because they appreciate so much and it's so good for them. Now, how often? So my suggestion would be to do it at least once a day, a little bit every day. But if you have the opportunity to do it in different times of the day, it's great to expose your body and your eyesight with your eyes closed, except if it's the sunrise or the sunset, at various moments of the day. Because every time you're outdoors, the sunlight is informing your body of the moment of the day it is, and that regulates your body to the circadian cycle. It regulates your nervous system, it regulates your hormone system, as we said before. So if you do a few minutes of sunning here and there, that's ideal. And now, how many minutes? I'm going to give you a clue that will work very well. As long as it feels pleasant, as long as it feels interesting, as long as you're engaged in it. If one day you have 10 minutes and it feels great, great. If another day you have 2 minutes because you have an appointment, and great. Do not try to do it for 10 minutes the day that you only have 2 minutes. And why should you shorten it when you're enjoying your time? So do it as long as it feels pleasant. Okay. And for this, you need to pay attention at your body signals, because it's not the same if you do sunning at 12 in the middle of the day in Ecuador, or if you do it in Sweden in the winter. It's not going to be the same, but your body is going to tell you if it's starting to be too much, or if it's enough, or if it's too little. So pay attention at yourself, and use common sense also. Be responsible and reasonable. Now, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're always on the safe side when you're doing sunning for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You could do it less. Yes, of course you could. And another thing also is that it is good to take advantage of moments that already exist in your life that naturally allow for sunning. For example, when you go to pick up your kids when they're going out from school, how about, instead of waiting in the car, to step outside and practice a few minutes of sunning while you're waiting for them? Or if you're waiting for the bus, for some public transportation that is outdoors, or if you have a pause for lunch, how about eating your lunch in the park outdoors on a bench instead of staying in the office or something like that? People used to take pauses to go smoke outside. Now more and more people are quitting smoking, and that's great news because it's not very good for your health. But you could still go outside for a few minutes and do sunning. And Natalia, am I noticing that you would like to yawn again?
Ah,
If that's the case, you are welcome to do it, because yawning is very good for your eyesight as well.
we know that, and in the natural vision lessons classes, it is allowed to
Uh-huh.
yawn. So I start. I don't realize, and I'm joing.
Yawning, yes.
Joining.
Well, and when somebody yawns, we talked about it in the last live, it's contagious, and everybody else wants to yawn also, and it's good because it relaxes your face and your eyes, and it brings in a lot more oxygen, so it's a very good idea. And getting back for sunning also, what is the best time of the day for sunning? Actually, the sunrise and the sunset are amazing because of the red light, of course. But the middle of the day is also good because of the blue light and the UV light. We've been talking about how those are important to prevent myopia, and also for you to have enough vitamin D. So what's important is that if in the middle of the day 10 minutes feels like too much because where you live the sun is burning and it's very strong, well, then do it for 30 seconds or 2 minutes, and do it more often or longer periods in the morning or in the evening. But you'll feel the adjustment. You can trust your own body for that. Yeah. The golden hour is amazing for sunning, but other times of the day are good too, because again, you want to give your body the full information of the light of the sun at different times of the day. Okay, haha. Mrs. Grandeur, I love that example with the water. Well, yes, things that are good for your body and your health, you want to give to your body regularly, not just once or twice. Okay, now somebody is asking about the chart that you just used. So you see that Natalia has an eye chart on the shelf. Yeah, that's an eye chart to evaluate how you're seeing far away. And yes, that's how it looks like from near. And you also have another document that has small print. I think it starts with font what with the size 24 or 18. I don't know.
18.
18. Well, we've provided some. If you registered to the free masterclass, we did provide some with the video number 2. And if you haven't registered, we invite you to do it. And it's a poem that's printed with, yeah, size 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6. I think it goes as far as 2. So they're really, really
Yes.
tiny. Yeah. And they allow you to evaluate how well you see. We are so confident that sunning and the techniques that we are showing make a difference instantly, even if you practice a few minutes, that we provided these eye charts and small prints so that you can test and evaluate before you practice sunning and after you practice sunning how you actually see a lot better. You can see the letters further, more near, and smaller print without the need of glasses. Of course, sunning should be practiced without glasses, without contact lenses. You can keep your intraocular lenses if you had cataract surgery. And if you live in a cold country and it's the winter and it's very cold to go outside, well, it's better to do sunning at home from behind the glass of the window than to not do it at all, of course. But if you can go outside, the best is to practice sunning outdoors. That will always be the very best option. Um, Now, so we provided those documents because we are so certain that when you test before and after, you will see immediately the difference, how you see better. Now, if you don't have the possibility to download it or print it or something, you could use a book or a newspaper or something that you have at home with different sizes of letters so that you can test how you see better after you do these techniques. Mm. Mrs. Grander also says, I've been doing this for a month or two and wearing my glasses less at home. I now notice more uncomfortability when I wear my normal glasses for a long time. Is that normal? Yes, it means that your eyes are getting better and that those glasses are already strong, too strong for your eyes. Now, probably it's time for you to reduce the prescription. So maybe you could go to an optometrist, an ophthalmologist, have your eyes evaluated and measured, because probably that prescription can be reduced. And if you have a nice optometrist in front of you, you could even ask for that optometrist to reduce the prescription even more by half a diopter or 1 diopter, depending on how courageous you are. The idea is that you have 80% of your visual acuity so that you are functional with your glasses, but that you can keep improving your eyesight even when you wear them. Okay, now I've seen that there's a couple of questions about cataracts and macular degeneration. I would like to address those too. But before we go there, because we were talking about how confident we are that our techniques allow to see better really quickly with sunning and all the variations with sunning, and that's why we provided all those letters, that I would like to teach now the instant focusing technique. Yeah? So for practicing this technique, you're going to remove your glasses if you were wearing them, contact lenses, um, because we are going to show to you how your eyes actually can see much better than you think, and how you can see clearly. And if you're not seeing clearly all the time, maybe you need to learn the habits and the good techniques to do it, but you can. And it's going to be very, very easy. Yes? So, and yes, absolutely, you were right about this evaluation you were doing. So, the instant focusing technique, you're going to make a little hole with your finger, as little as the head of a pin for sewing. Yeah, or a needle, very little. You're going to close one eye and you're going to look through the other one, through the little hole, and look at the letters of the chat, of the video, or look at things around you and notice how you can see a lot sharper when you look through the little hole. Mhm. You can look far, you can look near, you can look at different details and notice the quality of the focusing that you have when you look through this little hole. Mhm. So I would like to read in the chat what's the difference that you notice when you look through the little hole. Mhm. And if you're like me and most people, you will have noticed that you actually see amazingly focused. Mhm. And what has just happened? Well, we explained it to you a little bit earlier, but maybe you didn't notice. Maybe you can show the eye again, Natalia. Yeah, so the retina has a little space that's in front of the pupil, which is in a lot of the models, it's colored in yellow, and this one it's a bit less obvious, which is the macula, and inside the macula, the fovea. And that's the part of the retina that has the most cones, which are the photosensitive cells that allow you to see focused and to see with colors. So when you're looking with a little hole, you're covering everything else, but also there's more light stimulating the fovea, and it's reminding your mind that you actually have a pixel of best quality in your eye with which you can see extremely focused. Now, people who see very well, like me and like Natalia now and Daniel, that will have an opportunity to speak also later, we see very well because we move our eyes constantly and we're constantly looking at details. And so our brain remembers all the information of all those perfect pixels that we saw. That's why we have an overall a good image. If you're trying to look at everything at the same time and have everything focus at the same time, it's just not anatomically possible. So if you're not usually experiencing your eyesight as sharp as when you look through the little hole, is because one, either you're not moving your eyes enough, you're not paying enough attention at details, your pupil is dilated, and it doesn't do the movement, and you need to do some gymnastics with sunning, like we told you, or your brain is not remembering and taking into account that pixel of best quality. So, and I see Noah saying, this is phenomenal. Yes, it is. But it's proving to you that you can see that well. And if you're not experiencing this all the time, it's just because you haven't yet trained your eyes and trained your brain to see like this. This is something that can be learned like everything else. Like you can learn to play the guitar or the piano, or you can learn to do yoga or play a sport or ride a bicycle or any other thing. So you can train also your eyes and your brain to enjoy this foveal vision. Natalia, Daniel, maybe you want to say a few words about your experience with training yourself in this way with a foveal vision and the saccadic movements and paying attention to details and what difference it has made for you to see better over time. Either of you, Daniel, maybe, but you need to speak or put the mic on.
Yes, if my internet connection is working well, I
Oops.
can.
Oh, okay, so the internet connection is not very good. Okay, so it'll be Natalia again. Thank you for being here, nevertheless. Yeah.
No, it's a matter of creating good habits. So we do many practices and we learn to what the detail, not the whole thing.
Mhm.
So we with many practices we can develop this good habit. Is it something that we naturally see in that way? Children see in that way, and then because of bad habits we start focusing our sight on a screen, on a telephone, or on the books, and we like forget of the rest of the image we can see, and our eye remain like always in the same place. So we start to recover this habit we used to have when we were a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah, paying attention at everything that's eye-catching, that's interesting. Yeah, and it's not being dispersed, it's being curious about everything and paying attention to details instead of the rigidity that we develop as adults. And sometimes it's also culturally encouraged, like when you're talking to someone and people tell you that you should look in their eyes all the time when you're talking with them. Actually, for your eyes, it's a lot better to change from one eye to the other eye, to the nose, to the mouth, to the ear, to the landscape outside, back to the person, and to keep changing the distance, and also encourage the movement of the eyes. Now, so we're going to give you one tool that is amazing to train this effect that you just noticed. And if you want to learn even more on how to train your eyes to see better, of course, there's more lessons of the ClearSight method of Wake Up Your Eyes. And from the 28th of April, we will also invite you to join our more advanced program. But now let me introduce the pinhole glasses. Yeah, if you see the pinhole glasses, Natalia also has hers. Yeah, so they're actually black plastic with little holes. And what they do is exactly this system of the instant focusing technique, but you probably don't want to go around in life like this, right? It wouldn't be very practical. You need to use your hands maybe. So you can use the pinhole glasses. You can find them again on Amazon, eBay, AliExpress. There's plenty of places where you can buy them on the internet. And I have found them as cheap as 30 cents a pair. Okay, now it's more common to find them for $2 to $5 for the standard ones, which are really good for most people. And then if you want more sophisticated ones with special holes that some people need, and more beautiful with colors and things, well, then you can buy them on specialized websites for $35 to $42 or euros. Now, so how do they work? The pinhole glasses, well, because they have the little holes, they're going to do the instant focusing effect. So you're going to learn to look through one hole at a time to see the most focused. And then you'll also learn to look through different holes because you're interested by different things. And so that's also going to encourage the saccadic movements in your eyes. So they're a very good training tool to train your eyes into good habits of seeing and looking. So these glasses, the pinhole glasses, are a very good substitute versus sunglasses when you're at the beach, at the sea, in the sand, on holidays. You can wear these instead of the sunglasses, and they're very good because they protect from the glare, the excess of light, but they still allow for the full spectrum of light to go in a way that's not uncomfortable and still stimulate your eyes and inform your nervous system and your endocrine system. Now, don't use these for driving. That could be dangerous because they cover a lot of the peripheral view. So these should not be used for driving. They should not be used for skiing either, okay? Because you're moving fast and you want to see what's happening around you. But they're very good, again, for the beach, for reading, for watching the TV, for working at the computer for a lot of people, going to the cinema, going to the theater, moving in known familiar spaces that are safe. They're very, very good. And while you're using them, and you could use them easily, well, in the beginning, you may want to use them 5-10 minutes at a time so you get used to it and you do it as an exercise. But when you're working or at the computer or reading or something like that, you could use them up to 2 hours. And they can be a very good training tool and a replacement also for the standard glasses a lot of times. Maybe not always, but a lot of times. And when you're using these, you're actually not chronifying and making the problems progressive and your eyes dependent, but you're actually training your eyes to learn to see better by encouraging what makes your eyes function better. Would you like to say more things about pinhole glasses, Natalia? Did I forget some essential thing?
No, these are holes that there is nothing but air in the middle. There is
Exactly.
no glass, nothing.
Yes, exactly.
And
Absolutely. Okay, so there's been people asking about macular degeneration and cataracts, and also I'd like to mention something about glaucoma. So first, for glaucoma, palming and sunning are very good. Palming should not be performed more than 5 minutes in a row because of the darkness, the pupil being dilated all the time, and also a lot of heat. You know that liquids. Uh, um, Actually they have more volume when they're hot, and less volume when they're cold. So with glaucoma, while palming and sunning are very good, they should not be performed more than 5 minutes. What's very good is to alternate it. Spanning, sunning, palming, do sandwiches of sunning and palming, and then your pupil is going big and small and big and small. And so on the one hand, that when the pupil is small in the light, it allows for the intraocular pressure to regulate because the aqueous humor can evacuate better. And also when you do the open and close, it helps pumping. So these exercises can have an amazing effect on regulating the intraocular pressure. Of course, if you have glaucoma, it's very important that you have regular checkups with an ophthalmologist to make sure that things are in track and what's the evolution, etc. But it can be really, really helpful. Now, with cataracts and macular degeneration, actually, let's get back to the research that we've been talking about. And that is the benefits of red light, and not just this one, but the research by the University College in London, and also vitamin D, what we were talking earlier. Actually, if you have macular degeneration and cataracts, so for cataracts, sunning and palming are very, very important. Also, changing distance and playing with balls and shifting the focus of your eyes are going to be very helpful. And probably your ophthalmologist were talking about preventing from the more blue and violet range of light with cataracts and macular degeneration. So actually for you, it's even more important to watch the sunrise and the sunset and use the red light. So you will want to do the sunning more in the morning or in the evening. But in any case, when your eyes are closed, your eyelids are protecting your eyes from the spectrum of light that could be dangerous for you. So yeah, these are things that are useful to mention, that's going to make you feel safe. And of course, you can check with your ophthalmologist if you are hesitating, and you can check with the latest research if you want the most detail on all these processes. Okay, I don't know. Could I use them outside watching TV? Yes, you could. You can use this outside if you're not. I mean, if you're going to be running or doing sports that go very fast, they're maybe not the best idea because you're not having all the peripheral view. But if you're walking in known places or at home or for the TV or the cinema or the theater or reading or the computer, they are very, very good. Okay, more things. How to do sunning when I live someplace where there is no sun, it rains all the time, or it's cloudy, or things like that. So what do we do, Natalia, in those cases?
Sorry, I missed the question. I was reading another comment.
I was saying, what do we do when we live someplace where there is not much sun and it's cloudy all the time, or it rains very often? What are the alternatives for sunning?
Yes. First, when the sun appears, whenever the sun appears, try to take advantage of it, because we can't. There is no another thing like the sun. But if it is cloudy and there is no sun, we can watch the clouds. What we call clouding. We can blink a lot because it will be really so light the sky, and we can watch the clouds. Maybe we can look for shapes or move our eyes. It will be another great exercising. We'll be focusing our eyesight in a long distance, which is really a good habit also. And we can watch the clouds. Or at night, we can watch also the stars, the moon. All that things are always beneficial for our eyes.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, yeah, you can look at the sky or at the clouds with eyes open. And if you're not yet used to that much light, then blink. Blink in a soft, in a fast way, but blink, and it will produce more tears. It will get your eyes adjusted to the light. Mhm. And they're a very good alternative or complement to sunning. Now, I also want to talk about that beautiful salt lamp that you have behind, because that's a very nice lamp to have for the evening. At home, we were talking about the LED lights and the artificial light. And when you're going towards the evening, you want more reddish lights for your body to start unwinding and relaxing and going ready to sleep. And the salt lamps, like the one Natalia has behind, not only has a kind of a red light, which is appropriate for the evening, but also the salt lamps tend to diffuse negative ions, which also has a relaxing effect on the body. So it's a very good idea. And if you're going to read at night, like your phone or something like that, make sure that you're not just looking at the screen. So two things: you could have an ambience light, like the salt lamp that Natalia has, or this is what I do when I'm not at home and I don't have my salt lamp at hand. You can also turn on the light of the iPhone or your telephone, whatever it is. So there's a little bit more light around what you're looking. That's a very good idea. And of course, we already talked about this in live number one. At night, you want to sleep in the dark, in total darkness, with blinds or curtains, and with no lights of the TV or no clocks, digital clocks with lights, no little light to go to the toilet. It's really important to sleep in the darkness. There was a study in the University of Pennsylvania with kids that slept with a little light so that they were not afraid at night or to find the bathroom or whatever, versus kids that slept with total darkness. The ones that slept with light uh, tended to become myopic and be nearsighted a lot more. And our nervous system, our eyes do not rest when there's light at night. So what I do, for example, is use. Well, first I like to have my room very dark, but sometimes you do not control your environment fully, like you're traveling or something. So I have a very soft mask that is actually considered a blindfold or a mindfold. You see, there really is no light going through this, so it's perfect for sleeping well. So your eyes need light, your eyes need darkness, your eyes need red and blue and violet. They just need different things at different moments, and that's what balances your body and your eyes and your eyesight. Okay, now I know that Daniel has tried to speak, but apparently his internet is really not working that well. Daniel, and you did write something in the chat because you couldn't speak. So you wrote, "My experience with the ClearSight method has been a total eye-opener. I now understand how eyesight serves as a thermometer of how we see life as a whole, highlighting the impact of physical, mental, and emotional tensions on us holistically." So I get that Daniel was typing that because he couldn't speak because of his internet connection not being that stable. And the good news is that we're going to dive deeper into that topic from tomorrow onwards. So this has been that for today, but stay with us because tomorrow we're going to start with lesson number 3. We're going to release a video, and if you're not getting our videos, then you need to make sure that you sign up for clearsightmethod.com/wake up your eyes. And tomorrow we're going to dive deeper into the impact of emotions on eyesight. Actually, 88% of the people start having vision troubles at some point in their life where they're very stressed about something that's going on. Mhm. There's scientific research on this topic since the 50s. We're going to talk about it until nowadays. I've done some of that research from the University of Toulouse, studying hundreds of people and when they started their vision problems and what was going on in their life. So, not just me, there's other researchers like Charles Kelly and Martin Brofman and Kaplan and others who have mapped the relationship between different eyesight troubles and different emotional tensions. So, this topic may sound completely foreign to you or very fascinating. Whatever is your first reaction, I would like to invite you to watch the next video, because this is a very powerful tool that can leverage your vision improvement in surprising ways, with the positive extra benefit that once you do that, not only you see better, but you are happier when you release the emotions that keep you from seeing. So the topic, the video tomorrow is all about that. It's going to go deep and it's going to be fun. And there will be also a live in a few days where we're going to talk about the emotions that are specifically behind 15 different eyesight symptoms. The most common, so undoubtedly those that you have and that you've come to release. Okay, so yes, for example, this person is saying, my eyes went so bad when my ex-husband became very mean. If you think about it, a lot of you are going to find the correlation. So I'd like to invite you to do that, and you'll have an opportunity to have insights and and light bulbs opening up and aha moments and awareness when you watch tomorrow's video. So let me invite you to do that. And in the meantime, take care, be happy, enjoy the beauty of life. You'll see me tomorrow in the video. I hope so, at least. And I'll see you later, and we'll see each other better. So for today, thank you for being here. Congratulations for your commitment and keeping up with it. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.